Hello, everyone. I'm Jose Salinas, and I'm excited to dive into this important but controversial topic. Who are the kingdoms of the north predicted to cause wars with the nations, and why? While many of us teach what we learned in Bible college, in the military, or what we hear on the news, that is Russia, I want to share what I discovered by comparing biblical stories with church history in the hope of sharing the truth before God's judgment. Before we start, I want to share that I've reached out to teachers like John Hagee, but unfortunately they are not willing to talk about it. That's why I'm urging everyone to reach out to them to allow me to explain what I discovered to avoid guessing why they're unwilling, especially as World War III is evident and people need to know the truth. First, the easiest way to find out who the North armies are is to read the Old Testament Bible about those who attacked Israel, which would unite and attack again in the last days. Reading the book of Daniel gives us accurate details of the four kingdoms that would try to force the world into submission. Then, second, compare them to the world history, which continues to make wars with those who do not accept the laws of the kingdom. For starters, follow the kingdom symbols of their gods, and everything should come together. Specifically, the Roman and German Iron Cross that comes from the Babylonians and Assyrians. Yet, while searching for the origins of, while many search for the origins of the German swastika after World War II, I confirmed it was short-lived from the Hittite Empire, modern-day Turkey, who migrated to Rome and Germany from the Assyrians around the 1600 BC. For example, one of the best books on the subject is Aryan Anthropology by Thomas Wilson. Yet, I have not read the entire book, but I found this map showing where he discovered swastikas worldwide. The bottom line is that it's the sun god and war symbol, in which I have visited many museums around the world and read articles tracing it back to the ancient Hittites. Nevertheless, the Iron Cross is the most dangerous because history shows it has been the bloodiest Christian symbol ever used, which is different from the Orthodox Christian cross, but still, I encourage testing the groups because even ecumenical Christians use it too, which should be concerning who is who. Most importantly, the Iron Cross is found throughout the Assyrian and Babylonian cylinders. This Assyrian wall relief proves the origins of the Iron Cross, plus the four gods that he is pointing to that are continually used by the North armies. One, the 8-point star represents Ishtar, the goddess of peace or war. I emphasize that because that's how the Romans became an empire. They gave you an option to accept peace or war, or you cannot buy, sell, or trade with the nations that united. Two, the thunderbolt or trident represents Adad, the storm god of war. And three represents Sin, the moon god. And four, the winged disc or the four-pointed star represents Shamash, the sun god who would lead them to war. With this relief, I like to show you his two main gods by comparing an Assyrian Babylonian high priest with a Roman high priest, confirming they both worship the same god. The Iron Cross represents the sun god, and the Rosetta flower or 8-pointed star represents the image of the Queen of Heaven goddess. In other words, the Roman priest uses the image of the kingdom of heaven on his forehead, while the Assyrian priest uses a symbol of the Queen of Heaven goddess and the priest of Baal, whom Elijah called out in the book of 1 Kings chapter 18. Nevertheless, please check out my video, my playlist on who the image of the beast kingdom is, so you don't misunderstand that Mary from Rome is different from the Bible Mary. Also, one other symbol that identifies the Mystery Babylon religion per Revelation 17 is the headdress with two religious ear flaps. Overall, these 6 symbols, among many more, confirm who the North Army is without misunderstanding. Moreover, there's one additional god named Bel, the Babylonian dragon, that should concern many because the book of Revelation chapter 17 warns us of a 2-branch kingdom that makes war with the nations called the Mystery Babylon, which implies to a state and a church that worships a dragon in secret. Yet, for additional information, please check out the Mystery Babylon video. And to satisfy your curiosity, research and ask yourself why both church and state have the dragon from the north guarding the entrance to their institution. This is a photo showing the dragon on the Vatican doors, which I saw when searching for truth in Rome for almost a month. Yet, growing up as a Catholic, I was taught it was the holiest place on earth until I read the Bible and researched the dragon also guarding the Ishtar Gate, which helped me make the connection that it was the Mystery Babylon. And more so when I saw 2 angels coronating the dragon inside the Vatican's holiest chapel over the Gregorian organ built in 1582, confirming who they really worship. This chart shows the Babylonian cylinder comparing the United Nations building worshiping the same dragon and goddess. This is why I'm asking everyone to email your leaders to reason who the North Army is, so we are not on the wrong side, especially knowing that we'll all be given an account to God, and judgment starts in the house of the Lord, because Revelation warns us of a mystery church and state that worships a dragon and goddess in secret. Also, who has a military with the same symbols per this ancient cylinder sketch I found showing their 3 main gods, including NATO, 4-pointed star that should be alarming. With this slide, I would like to compare the 3 gods of the North with the United Nations symbols that explain what John saw in the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 13. It's the 3 demonic spirits like frogs coming out from the first beast and the second beast and the northern army, which confirms Revelation 17. If you like, please pause the video to read my comparison chart, which I'm trying to explain in my forthcoming book coming out very soon. For the most part, this presentation outline helped me understand why and how to research who the North Army is, primarily because the book of Revelation warns us that the 2 beast kingdoms will lead the United Nations into World War III, and we need to be ready. 1, I encourage you to compare the Bible, church, and world history with the book of Revelation, as I did. And 2, with that, you will see the North Army is the Roman and the Germans who migrated from Babylon and Assyria. It's the same army under a different name. 3, the swastika came from the Hittites to Rome and Germany, but were short-lived in a broad view. And 4, the Iron Cross came from Babylonian Assyrians to the Romans, who spread worldwide that it was a Christian cross, but history shows it's not. And 5, if you research for the idol of the kingdom, the Queen of Heaven, or the dragon, you will know who the North Army is. And 6, if you trace the Aryan race, you will discover it came from Assyria to Rome and to Nazi Germany to NATO's members, though I don't think all of them. And 7, you will find out that the Roman popes have always blessed the Reichs and wars after the fall of Rome, and signed a concordat usually before a war starts. Please read the Ukrainian concord that confirms them as their main religion. And 8, also you will discover on the United Nations website that they are a world government with a church and a state and an army that calls itself the North. I hope you caught that. How clever can they be? And 9, the United Nations New World Order is set by 2030, called the SDG 17 Goals, which are the laws of the kingdom per Revelation 13. Starting with the Bible history observation, we can clearly see who the North Army is. In 722 BC, the Assyrian army attacked Israel from the north. In 586 BC, the Babylonians came from the north and destroyed the first temple. And in 70 AD, the Romans came from the north and destroyed the second temple. And future prophecy says Gog will lead Magog into war against Israel per Revelation 27-10. And it implies because they will not allow the idol of the kingdom inside the third temple, like what happened inside the first 2 temples. World history confirms the pre-Reichs allowed the Northern Army to expand. Below is a simple unification timeline that helped Germany rearm to prepare for war. Starting with the First Reich in the 800 AD, the Holy Roman Empire and the German nations, then Second Reich in 1871, pre-World War I, then came the Third Reich in 1939 when the Nazis came or created its master plan to expand to the east, which would lead to conquering the entire world under the revived Roman Empire. Nevertheless, you can pause this video and research each of these events, especially the 1990 treaty that allowed Germany unification after the fall of the Berlin Wall. And more alarming is, I believe, NATO primarily controlled by Germany that calls itself the North. For the most part, this should not be a trivial thing that the 1990 unification of Germany was not important, because it's pre-planning for the Fourth Reich that leads to World War III. In 2021, the Russia-Ukraine war allowed Germany to expand and rearm. Most people see Germany and NATO are using Ukraine as a puppet state like Hitler did, and preparing to enforce the New World Order, called the 2030 SDG 17 Goals. Most alarming is number 16. Its goal is to disarm the world like what Germany did pre-World War II. My goal is to encourage leaders to prepare you for the Sustainable Development 17 Goals by 2030, known as the New World Order, which are 17 laws of the kingdom called Mark of the Beast per Revelation chapter 13 that I explain in my coming soon book. Basically, the mystery Babylon says it was arrayed with precious stones per Revelation 17:4. In other words, the United Nations enticed us with 14 precious goals that pursue happiness and justice for all, but mixed with 3 deceptive laws. Number 5 causes to sin against God. And number 10 causes racial tension to divide us. And number 16 disarms us for the slaughter from the Germans' master plan for complete control of the world. Please see the signs we're in. For example, check out this article, Germany to rearm with 107 billion military aimed at Russia's threat. Also read this article titled Lessons Learned. Hitler rearmament of the Germany, and goes to say people saw the signs of times but did little to stop Germany until it was too late. Now, as I'm wrapping up my presentation, I will show maps that give you a visual picture of the past and future. This map shows the four kingdoms predicted to come from the north, but only two destroyed the Jerusalem temples. The Babylonians and the Assyrians in 586 BC, and the Romans and Germans in 70 AD. Yet they both used the sun god symbol of war. This map shows the most dangerous is the fourth kingdom, known as the Roman Empire, because it was predicted to fall, revive, and allowed to make war with the nations who did not accept the laws of the kingdom. In which the prediction came to pass in 312, or around 312, Rome was wounded and divided, and the Jews and the Christians fled to the four corners of the world. Yet, please keep in mind, Russia and Ukraine were non-existent until around the 5th century. And in 325, the Roman Emperor Constantine created the ecumenical Christian councils and tried to unite the church under a Christian cross. And around 330 AD, Constantine created the Byzantine Empire per Revelation 13. The Roman Empire would revive under a new name that would try to deceive the nations in the name of Christianity. Then the Council of Ephesus in the year 431 led to 1054 church division, the east from the west, because the eastern churches would not accept Mary as the Queen of Heaven. Perhaps they were concerned with her title from the book of Jeremiah 44:15, which was known as the image of the kingdom that made desolation inside the first temple. Then in 800 AD, the councils created the Holy Roman Empire, known as the First Reich, which made war with the Eastern Orthodox churches that led to the Catholic Inquisitions from 900 to 1800s, torturing and killing millions, anyone who would not worship the image of the kingdom. Here I found a map showing the Germans' expansion plan. Somehow we must verify that this has been Germany's pre-master plan since 100 BC that will help us confirm this war. Because even in 1812, the French tried to revive the Roman Empire and attacked Russia, leading to the Second Reich in 1871. I encourage people to read Germany's unification from 1876 that led to World War I, which again, Germany tried to expand toward the east. Many clearly see this, that Ukraine has always been a puppet state, so Germany can expand to the east, then the entire world. This map shows the big picture of World War II, Germany and Rome, Third Reich, which again made war with Russia and the Eastern Orthodox Christians and Jews. More so, it proves that Ukraine was a puppet state. And for everyone who has doubt, please check out this 1943 map that illustrates the Greater Germanic Reich suggested by Nazi authorities in the propaganda map. Again, proves that Ukraine was and is a puppet state to expand to the east. I encourage people to read NATO's website, reason it was formed, plus the Eastern Bloc 1947 to 1991, and the Warsaw Pact and the Iron Curtain during the Cold War. The point is that the United Nations broke the agreement with Russia after World War II that NATO would not expand eastward toward the Warsaw Pact countries. And for that reason, this war will lead to World War III. Yet if we see this Russia and Ukraine war map and compare the Bible predictions with the world history, we should be able to see the obvious pattern. In fact, if we ask two simple questions, we should know whether the North Army is Russia or NATO. One, who was predicted in the Bible that would make war with the nations? And two, who caused all the wars in the world? And why is this important? The Bible predicts that the North Army will attack Israel in the last days, and I believe because they will not allow the image of the kingdom inside the temple, as they did during the first two temples. And to help summarize some of these major wars, please pause this outline and you will notice the pattern that Rome and Germany are always together, as Babylon and Assyria, who were called the North Army during the Bible days. Yet, hopefully I will finish my book on church history because it proves that Rome has always blessed Germany with the sword to kill Orthodox Christians and Jews. So my last question is, who is the bloody beast kingdom that killed the saints from the North Army per the book of Revelation 17:6? Nevertheless, I have so much more to share with you in other videos, so please pray for the ministry that focuses on uniting the godly and teaching difficult scriptures that some misunderstand or hinder from knowing the truth. I also want to remind you to purchase my book in the first part of the year. It helps us understand the book's structure so we can understand the timeline that God gave us. Basically, Jesus commanded the church leaders to warn us of the judgment after his death and to give us hope that the trumpet angels are commanded to pass over the godly and to comfort us that once we die, we go straight to heaven, a place of no more suffering. Still, I would like to thank you all for listening and writing comments that help me create better videos. And please, if you like this presentation, 1, give me a like, 2, hit the subscribe button to get notified in my next video or scheduled events, and watch the playlist videos that identify the beasts and prepare you for the third temple. And 3, support my ministry so I can make better videos, and I will send you one of my charts. And lastly, I pray that God gives you understanding, wisdom, and boldness for the love of God and truth that gives us hope in heaven. God bless you.